This video we're going to go over posts, and in this case, basically it's called the news and announcements. It shows up here over under the latest news on the homepage, and for at least on this example, it's also within this news and announcements page over here on the top nav. So basically this functions as a blog. So notice they'll be time-stamped and can be, posted by different people, and then they're in reverse chronological order. So notice the earliest or like the latest is up at the top, and then it just pushes the other ones down into an archive. So that's the main functionality of it. So now let's go ahead and make a new post. If we go ahead and click over here on this left-hand side under posts, we click on just the general posts icon. It gives us our list of posts. These are all the posts that have already been posted on the website. Again, same reverse chronological order. I can hover over them and edit them, etc. But I'm going to go through and just add a new one right away. There's two ways to do that. There's a button over here on the link over on this left-hand menu that says Add New, right under Posts. And there's also this button up at the top or on the post page that's Add New. So I can click on either of them. They are going to take me to the exact same place. So here is our basic edit screen. This will become very familiar because it's the same or very similar throughout the site, depending on whatever section or function that you are editing or adding to new. There will be maybe a couple extra things or less things, etc., but just that apply to whatever that function is. But the main gist of this will look very familiar after a while. So I've got my add new post. Here's where you put the title. I'm just going to go ahead and flip over here and grab some lorem ipsum or placeholder text and put in my title. And I'm just going to grab some text and copy and paste it into this main edit screen here in the body of the post right here, just so that we have something to work with. First, you'll notice right now there's these two tabs up on the upper right of the main body of this post. This is just the view. So this is what I'm seeing this box. Right now I have it on text view because I'm used to seeing code, and this is actually very common for me because you can write in your HTML code, etc. It's very confusing to many people that don't have experience or know or have experience with working with HTML. But have no fear, there is this visual view, which gives you a very similar to like a Word document or a Gmail, writing an email, where you can highlight, and then there's buttons where it says bold or italics, ordered or bulleted lists, etc. If you don't see this second column, this button right here, it's called Toolbar Toggle. It might be, this is the default for some reason. Just click on it once, and again, this will remember your settings, and it'll keep this second bar here visible for you whenever you're logged in and editing under this visual view. One thing to note about this view is these two tabs. Just switching back and forth is not going to actually change or modify anything. It's just how we view it. So if you really wanted to learn HTML, you can always go ahead and make your changes with the visual view. And then if you flip over to the text view, you can see the actual code is listed in there with of what is making that bold. You can also do the same thing here where you can highlight it and then click on, but instead of that, the visual ones, you'll actually see the HTML going right in there. So that's one nice thing about this. And then you can flip over to visual view and see what's going on. One thing that really is, you can stick with whatever view you're most comfortable with, because you can do most things in either of the view. One thing though, if for example you do lots of changes and you're putting things and deleting things and even sometimes pasting from like a Word document or something like that, and all the styles get all messed up on the website and you don't know what's going on, there's two ways to solve this. You can highlight the whole body of the text and just start over, by clicking this little clear formatting, this little eraser here, and it's going to clear out the formatting, but keep the text there. It'll keep the paragraphs there as well. But then if there's for some reason, there's some like words that are, I don't know, floating around, or something that's bold that you can't figure out why it's bold, you can always go ahead and clear the formatting, or flip into the text view and then clear out any of the extra like junk that's in there, especially when copying and pasting from like Microsoft products, like a Word document. It will add a lot of things unless you use this button here, this paste as text, which allows you to go ahead and change and paste things in plain text mode, because otherwise these proprietary documents like Word documents add a bunch of formatting already into the copying and pasting, even though they're hidden. So that's one way to kind of to go past that, get past that issue. It's a very common issue. It's happened a million times to a million people, including myself. So you can always go ahead and clear formatting or flip into text view. Another reason to flip into text view would be as if you are embedding something like a YouTube video, and it gives you an embed code. Anything that gives you something that's code, you'll need to put that in text view, because otherwise it's going to interpret, because code, you'll see, has those brackets, this before and after brackets over whatever the tag is that is there. If you paste this strong on the visual view, it's going to interpret these brackets and actually print out the brackets instead of actually using that as the code. It's going to, try to mimic that exactly how you have it. So you'll get a bunch of code in the, if you post a copy and paste a HTML block into the visual view. So again, and fixing it is easy. You can always just flip into text view, delete it, and then paste it again into text view. The other thing of this second row, which is really useful, is now if you're doing things, because there's already pre-programmed styles that match the rest of the website, colors, sizes, fonts, etc. So if I wanted another paragraph here and I wanted another subheading, I can actually highlight that. Let's say this is the subtitle. And then right now it's on this little drop down here that says paragraph. I can make it a heading. Let's say I'll make it heading 3. Heading 1 is usually reserved for just like the page title, and everything else can be something like a heading 2 or less. So I'll just do a heading 3. You can always play around with them. They're different sizes. They look slightly different. And you can fool around with that a little bit. Like if you wanted here and then you needed another title, right, at kind of a subtitle underneath it, and you wanted it much smaller, again, you can do that, highlight it, put it as a heading 6 or something. This will give you somewhat of a view of what it's going to look like on the website, but it's not exact. So don't worry so much about perfecting things in the administration area. What you'll really want to do is you can either save draft and preview before you actually publish it. So this button over here on the right, this is very helpful. If you click on that, it gives you your preview within the website. Exactly. So now you can see this is exactly how the heading 6 looks, and this is how this heading 3 looks here, and this is how, the spacing on the paragraphs, etc. Okay, so, and then you can always keep that open and then refresh it and all that other stuff. There's also a way to, if you wanted to, like, all right, I have to run and finish dinner, whatever. I don't have time to finish this right now. I can hit the save draft, and now it's saved here. So if I log out and close out the browser or whatever and come back another day, I'll be able to resume where I left off, but it's not public on the website. I'll just flip over into the all posts view right here, which gives us our list to show you this is what it indicates. It'll with a little /draft right here, which says, hey, it's saved. And you can always go in and edit it and then make it public. This publish button is the way to actually make it public. The save draft is to save it in the back end. Once you hit the publish button the first time on these posts, then you won't need to publish it again. But if you make changes, that publish button will change to say update. So again, you click on that update button and that will make those changes public onto the website. Now, let's just go through a couple of the other pieces of the posts. Posts have the ability of having categories and tags, which are just two different ways of filtering or, categorizing. Both tags and categories are pretty much do the same thing. It depends on how you want to use it and how it makes sense. I've had people just use the categories and not use the tags. I've had other people use just the tags and not utilize the categories. The difference, though, is in how it's viewed here. So right now, there's only two categories on this website. Again, you can access or change all of them right within the posts or over on this left-hand side where there's categories and gives you a more in-depth way of adding and modifying the categories on the website. So basically these are like buckets of the posts. So if you wanted to have, so right now there's the latest news in an uncategorized, you can select multiple categories, but it's just a nice way. And if you have something like an event news or event recap or something and you wanted to keep those kind of separate, or have the ability to just see and filter through all of the posts that are within event recap, then you can add another category and you can add them right here within the post, like I said, or over on this left-hand side. You can also have nested categories. This can get really complex, but it doesn't have to be. You can just set up one or two categories and then just stick with those throughout, and you don't have to worry about. And then just when you're creating the post, all you have to do is check whichever category that you want to bucket, to put that in whatever that bucket is. Tags are a little more freeform. So things like more specific subjects of whatever the post is, I could, and then these are all comma separated. So I can start typing things and then hit a comma and then put in as many as I want. Or I can just go each one individually, but I can just say, okay, school, play, arts. And I can add. And now I have these 3 tags. Again, if I wanted to remove one, I can just hover over this X and hit that, and that'll delete that tag. Not from the whole website, just from this post. And once these tags, if you do utilize the tags, are starting to, you start having these tags throughout, and let's say you have arts, or the school play, or fundraising. Once you start typing, if the tag is already on the website, it'll say, it'll start autofilling it, and you can just select so that you don't have to worry about, because if you spell it differently each time or misspell it, it doesn't know that you mean that that's arts, and I actually hit art. That'll treat it as 2 different tags, etc. So, and again, you can also click on this, choose from the most used tags. But again, just filling in or starting to type the tags will do that as well. Next, over here on this left or on the right-hand side here is the featured image. This is that it'll be a large, kind of long image along the top of this news post. So because of that, it's best to use a photo that is kind of that long way instead of a portrait mode, because otherwise it will crop into the center. So it's also good to have a photo where the subject is more kind of in the middle, because it will auto crop the photo to the dimensions that it needs to be. So I'll just go ahead and choose that one and set featured image. And I click on that, and now I'll see it over here. Now if I go, and I'm going to go ahead and again preview this. And it is already changing. I have this tab open here still. So there is that featured image. And like I said, it'll automatically make it into this dimension. So that is that featured image. Now if I wanted to add more images within the post body, here I would put my cursor first where I want to put that photo. So I'm just going to put it at the beginning of this paragraph, and then click on this Add Media button up at the top. Now, this actually looks very familiar to with the featured image because it's reading from the same library. So this will also become very familiar once you start working with the site, because this media finder kind of window is the same throughout the site. So now I can go ahead and see it'll default to what's already in my media library, things that I've already uploaded. If I wanted to upload files, I can click on this tab and select the files. Or what's really fun is to just drag and drop into here. So if I go, and I'll just navigate to my pictures here, and I'll just go to some whatever. I'll go and grab this one here, and literally just dragging and dropping into the window turns that blue. And there we go, it's uploading. You can also drag and drop multiple files. So that's something like if you wanted to do a photo gallery, which is very useful. You can grab pretty much all of the photos within a directory and drag them all at the same time, and they'll just upload all of them. And now if I can just add this media file, I'll add a title. That's Grumpy Cat. I can add a description. A description is something that's going to be more for the administrators of the website use, because that's something it's not going to show up on the public-facing side. It's something that's searchable within the administration area. So if you have lots of files, adding descriptions will really help, because then you can search through your media library to find that image that you really wanted and you uploaded, a year ago. Because it'll search through those descriptions. The alt text right here, this is something that screen readers and search engines use. So it's good practice to have alternative text that describes the image. A caption is something that's actually shown on the website. So it's going to be basically like a caption in a magazine photo. So you can add even like photo credits or something that's describing that. And then the next important area down here at the right, when you scroll down a bit, is the attachment display setting. This is indicating how it's going to look on the page. So I have these options of alignment. So right now I'm going to align it because I want to align it to the right. I want the photo to kind of float over to the right of the text and the text to wrap around the left. If I wanted the opposite, I could just hit left and it'll display on the left side, and then the text will go along the right side. I can center it again, and the text will not wrap on either side. And the same thing with none, but none will just be over to the left with no text wrapping around it. So again, I want to go right. I want to link it to the media file because we have a program installed on here, which will do a really cool zoom of the photo when you click on it. And that is only activated when I link to the media file. And I will show you an example of that. And I want to just embed the medium size because I want the text to go around the outside. If I wanted it to go the whole length of it, I could do the full size. Or if I wanted it smaller, I could do the thumbnail. It's really good practice just to use the medium size because then it's not going to, blow out the rest of the text. It'll allow for, the page not to be too long or too wide for the screen, etc. So now I just go ahead and click this blue Insert into Post button. And there it shows up here with my caption below it. I'll go ahead and preview that. I'm going to my preview window over here. It's already reloading for me. And there's my image with the caption. And this is what I was talking about. Notice it's a link and it links to that full size. So that's one way to have kind of like a cool little photo. So you don't have to have the full size right within the body of the text. People can click on it and get the full size. It's very similar when you do a photo gallery, for example. So if I go to Add Media, again, I can drag and drop multiple files. I'm just going to, for time's sake, just click on this Create Gallery and create a gallery of the photos that are already uploaded. And now, when I'm under this Create Gallery area, I can select as many photos as I want. And so I can go through and select all the photos I want for my library. So if I've already uploaded them, they'll show up here. I'll just check them, and I can start seeing my preview of how many I've selected right here down at the bottom. Now I hit this Create New Gallery, and it's going to bring me to a second screen, which allows me to add things like captions. I can drag and drop the order of the photos, which is really, really cool for the photo gallery. Again, I want to link to the media file. I can add it. I can put it in random order, actually, if I wanted to. I'll put it in, 4 columns, etc. And I said Insert into Gallery. Insert Gallery right there. And now let's go and preview that. You can kind of see it brings those into thumbnails. So there, it gives you the grid, and you can click on them and see all of them. And it's great. You can even use your keyboard and just page through all of them like as a slideshow. And there's even a slideshow functionality right there. So that is the main areas of adding a new post.